What's going on, guys? This is John of the Last Seed podcast. Please like and subscribe before I start the video. We're going to start a breakdown of the Knicks Pacers series. Looking forward to this one. First game is tonight, but let's get right into it. We're going to be going over defensive matchups that I think are going to be huge in this series and overall possible adjustments that both these famous coaches will be making. Rick Carlisle and Tom Thibodeau both been around the block, but let's get into it. So we see like the rundowns of the rotations here. As you see here, obviously the Knicks run a lot shorter rotation than the Pacers. Pacers can go 9 deep, maybe 10, 11. Thomas Bryant was a little bit of a factor last series. Walker can maybe factor in a little bit here and there, maybe if like an injury or something happens, or Carlisle's looking for a spark. Knicks obviously only run like 7 deep, so you'll only really see Robinson, McBride off the bench. You might see some of Precious and Payne, but yeah. So that's one thing that I think is going to be a huge, advantage for the Pacers, just looking at that outright. If the Knicks are going to be able to, if they can close the gap in this series, if like McBride's like a key, can be a factor offensively, I think this can really help be in the Knicks' favor. But if not, this is really going to be something for the Pacers. And really, this is something that can really benefit them in a long series if they're able to go 9, 10 deep and play these guys when the Knicks starters are, tired, you know what I mean, and not miss a beat. So let's go over key defensive matchups. Let's go over the Knicks first. So I think the Knicks' best way of going at this is putting Bridges on Halliburton, OG on Siakam, and I think they're going to have no choice but to put Cat on Turner. Now, why these matter? Halliburton in playoff wins, he's 20-9 so far. Losses, 14-7. That's obviously a huge difference. It definitely shows when Halliburton's aggressive and is getting the whole offense flowing. The Pacers are really tough to beat. So yeah, he's the engine of this whole offense. If he gets going, the whole team gets going. So this is going to be a huge matchup right here, in my opinion. Is how Mikal Bridges can play defense against Tyrese Halliburton. He needs to make those 5 first-round picks that the Knicks gave up worth it. If he can shut down Halliburton in the series, or at least limit him to be more so towards these numbers, I think the Knicks are a huge advantage for the Knicks. Obviously, the other interesting matchup is going to be OG against Siakam. Former Raptor teammates. I mean, it really doesn't get much better than this. Size-wise, they're about equal. Siakam a little bit bigger, but definitely the best matchup the Knicks have for Siakam. Another thing, I think this is going to be the huge key right here. I'm even going to underline this, is Cat on switches and getting out in Turner's threes. Now, the Pacers are going to make Cat work. And that was the way Boston tried attacking the Knicks last series. It was successful at times. Is when they had their most success. Is when they made Cat try to move on, on switches and stuff like that. And the thing is, with Boston last series, they had Porzingis, who was, really hampered with his ailment or whatever he was going through. And they also had Horford, who's like 40 years old. So Miles Turner is definitely going to be a lot more of a factor in this. Turner's been great so far in the playoffs. If he can make Cat work on defense, it's definitely going to make life a lot harder for the Knicks. But the Knicks have possible adjustments they can make. They have defensive aces off the bench in Miles McBride and Mitchell Robinson. You know what I mean? If you put these guys, so let's just say if Cat's getting killed on defense, they can switch in Mitch for Cat, or they can go double big. So they would probably put Mitch on Turner, and he was great on switches last series. So that is something that is definitely a key to watch. Definitely an adjustment that Knicks can make. And also, you got Miles McBride off the bench. So McBride can also be someone that maybe you put on Halliburton. You know what I mean? So we'll underline him here. McBride, I think, is going to be a huge key in the series, both offensively and defensively. And also off the bench, too, McBride's going to be dealing with T.J. McConnell a lot. And T.J. McConnell is also a huge... I'm going to put like an arrow over here. That's going to be a key matchup for me to watch, is McBride and McConnell. See, McConnell, if he can come in the game and the Pacers don't miss a beat on offense, which he does at times, where his efficiency is just as good, if not better, than Halliburton select games. Not saying T.J. McConnell brings the same impact as Halliburton, but if he's able to give Halliburton a blow and he can come in and really change the game, keep the pace up, it's definitely going to be advantage Pacers. Miles McBride's factor in that is definitely going to be huge, and also McBride going on to Halliburton maybe at certain times if Bridges is maybe struggling or what have you, that's going to be huge as well. And also, like I referred to before, the double big lineup. The double big lineup was very, very successful for the Knicks last series. They're definitely going to be going back to it again. So I think Mitchell Robinson during the series, his plus minus was for the charts, especially the first 4 games. I think he ended up like a plus like 55 to plus 60 for the whole series. Don't know the exact number. All I know is it was really good. The defensive splits for the Knicks were off the charts when Mitchell Robinson was in the game. So this double big lineup. How is Rick Carlisle going to do with this? How will the Pacers respond to this adjustment that the Knicks make? Well, I think Rick Carlisle's definitely going to go with some hack a Mitch. I would not be surprised to see it this series. He's going to see if Mitchell Robinson can make free throws and if he can take him out of the game. You also have to wonder if it's really giving him problems. Let's say Mitch is hitting free throws too, and the Knicks are just killing him on the boards. You have to wonder if we do see more Thomas Bryant this series. And he is someone that was, factoring in a couple games for the Pacers last series and was actually pretty effective. So if it's really giving the Pacers problems, I don't think he goes to it right away. But if it's really someone that's hampering the Pacers, I think you can see some Thomas Bryant this series. It would not shock me at all. So let's swing out. So speaking of the Pacers and their adjustments, let's speak out their defensive matchups. So their big one is obviously going to be Nembhard on Brunson. So Nembhard really struggled against Brunson last year in the playoffs, despite them beating the Knicks. Brunson had his way with Nembhard a lot of times. So what are some adjustments that the Pacers can make for that? So some adjustments they can make for that, if you go all the way down here, Nesmith is someone else they can throw at Brunson. He's definitely a bigger body, and he's someone I feel is going to be a factor in this series as we're going to get down at the end of this video. I think Nesmith can play a huge role in this series. And another thing that they can do maybe to help out with Brunson is helping off of Josh Hart. So what will be interesting to see is what they put on Hart. Last series against the Knicks, Porzingis was put on Hart at times, and I wonder if they will put Miles Turner on Josh Hart. That is an adjustment I wonder if the Pacers will make, and I wonder if they're going to start out with that. It'll be very interesting to see where Miles Turner starts on defense, especially off of help. Miles Turner has been a huge factor so far in the playoffs, and there's a big reason why the Pacers are in this position right now. So, and then another thing with that is, obviously you have the matchup of Turner and Cat. So if Turner's on Cat, if Cat is able to get Turner off of help side defense, that's definitely going to be huge. Cat has to make his shots this series. He has to be aggressive from three. He wasn't last series. Didn't really cost the Knicks, but I think that's something that's really going to be a huge factor in this series. Cat has to shoot and make more threes this series. You got to get Turner out of help side, or even better, get Turner off of him and he gets a smaller guy on him, maybe a Siakam, maybe a Nesmith, what have you, and he's able to take advantage of that matchup. So it's definitely a huge key to see in this matchup. So what are some other things to watch in this series? So, as I referred to before, the bench matchup. Can the Knicks close the gap? If the Knicks can close the gap in this matchup, it will definitely make the series a lot easier for them. If they don't, the Pacers are going to have their way, definitely, especially if the series becomes 6 or 7 games, which I think is very likely. So, this is definitely something to watch for as we go out for this series. The Knicks have to be able to do something here. If the Pacers bench outscored them 30-5 each game, it's going to be tough. And also the pace. We know that the track meet benefits the Pacers. If you've watched this playoffs, the Pacers, when they get going, when they get all their guys hot, they're tough to stop. I mean, it is just nonstop. It would not surprise me to see if the Knicks won this series, but the point differential favored the Pacers. I think a blowout, and if the game gets wide open, I think that really benefits the Pacers. Knicks want to keep it a close game, keep it in the half court. Definitely benefits the Knicks. And something I referred to in the top of this video, Tibbs versus Carlisle. You have two very seasoned coaches. We're going to see how they react to all these adjustments being made by each other. The chess match that is going to be going on here. So this is going to be a huge chess match. And it's going to be interesting to see. You know what I mean? Carlisle obviously has a championship. Tibbs does this as an assistant, looking for his first one as a head coach. It's going to be fun to watch. My other big key, this one's going to be really huge for both teams. It's going to be wings hitting shots. If the Knicks guys for this are going to be Josh Hart, OG, and Bridges. If those guys can get going offensively, they are tough to stop. There were certain games during the Boston series where they got 20-plus points against the Celtics, some of these guys, and that is definitely a huge key. If they can get more of that, and they're not so reliant on Brunson. You know what I mean? I know it's about the stars of the series. Everyone's going to be talking about Brunson, Halliburton, Towns, all that type of stuff, Siakam. But it's really going to come down to these guys, who wins the series, who's better. And on the Pacers side, you have Nesmith, you have Benedict Mathurin, and I think Mathurin's definitely going to be a huge key to this series, especially off the bench for the Pacers. If he can average like 15 to 20 points a game, I have to say the Pacers are probably going to win this series. We'll see. I think he got disciplined a little bit for being front out the one game. Carlisle didn't really play him a lot in Game 5, but I think that's going to change. I think he's going to look past that. It's too big of a moment right here. I think he's going to really fully unleash Mathurin when he has the opportunity to and when he's hot. So, let's get down to it. My prediction. As a Knicks fan, maybe I'm biased, but I think this is going to be a very tough series. My overall prediction, the Knicks are going to the NBA Finals. I think the Knicks are going to win in 7 games. This is going to be a tough series. I think the home court in Game 7, I think, is going to take it. The Knicks are going to their first NBA Finals, I feel, in so long since they played the Spurs in '99. It would definitely be a parade in New York, even if they just make the finals. It's going to happen. I got Knicks in 7. Let me know what you guys think of this prediction. If you guys like these type of breakdowns, and if you want me to do more of them, like and subscribe. All right, everyone, this is John from the Last Seed Podcast. Peace out.